and we are back. Yes, it is a Friday. I knew it. You know what? We are 15 to 16 minutes late, and I knew y'all were going to jump ship, but we came through as we do on a Friday. It is just before the holidays, so everybody's getting set up. Everybody's thinking about the new year, New Year's resolutions, just new things happening, refreshers, and we are also going to do the same. So look out for a new look, a new feel pod come the new year. Just give us some time, y'all. We are working on some great things. So with that being said, welcome to another edition of the Pop-Off. Oh, we got a doozy for you. This one's going to be nice, short, and sweet because we all got stuff to do on this glorious holiday season. So first and foremost, without further ado, let's talk to my boys. Mr. Genefitzmagic, what is up, my man?
What's up, guys? I'm happy to be here today. Got a lot of venting to do about some teams, some characters, some venting. So today is definitely gonna be a therapeutic event for me.
Shocking. And Wudi, what is up, my dude? What are you saying?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to hear Gene talk about the one character and the one team that he is looking to vent about. You can just, you can say it, but I mean, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, and it's okay. All right. For anybody watching this show and for Genefitzmagic right now, it is time to turn your frown upside down. That is what this show will do for you today, Friday, on the Pop-Off.
There it is, right there. It is another edition of the Pop-Off just before the holidays. So let's get right into it now. Even though NFL Thursdays have been a little off kilter, the trend was amazing for weeks and weeks and weeks. It came back with a vengeance. Man, last night's game, if you did not catch it, the LA Chargers defeated the Denver Broncos 34-27. Both teams are now 9-6. There was so much at play here. If you weren't paying attention, this was Denver's chance to punch their ticket into the playoffs. This was the Chargers' chance to stop Denver from punching their ticket and also get a better chance to get in to the playoffs in the wild card. This was a wild game. Shout out to the passing leader, Justin Herbert, with 284 yards, rushing leader, Gus Edwards, 68 yards, and receiving leader, rookie Lad McConkey, 87 yards. Man, it has been a fantastic time. But listen, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Dicker the kicker. This guy kicking free balls for extra points. Man, I don't want to leave anything out on the table. I want you guys to have in. I want you guys to feast a little bit. Let's talk about this game. Wudi, let's go to you first, my man. What did you think about this game?
Heading into it, I thought that these are two very high esteemed coaches, some of the better coaches to have, ever been in this league. And I was expecting this to be an ugly game, an ugly football game. I had bet the under, and I have no money to show for it. I'll just say that. I thought it was going to be an ugly grind out game. The Broncos defense is super underrated. People, talk about Bo Nix, front runner for offensive rookie of the year. But it's the defense. They lead the league in blitzing, right? They have Pat Surtain, who I think is the best lockdown corner in the NFL. They have a lot to throw at you, to throw you off. So that's what I was looking forward to last night, was seeing that defense against Herbert, Justin Herbert, somebody who does not get the respect he deserves. Now under Jim Harbaugh. So I was expecting, that chess match. What I didn't realize was that the other side, the Chargers defense and the Broncos offense, what that was going to look like. And honestly, the Broncos D, they would sleep. And Bo Nix, they were marching those boys down, throwing TDs to every TD was to someone new that I not heard of. I'll have to look up the roster. That number, didn't know who it was. Wasn't Cortland Sutton, who was on my fantasy team. Wasn't Javonte Williams, who was in my parlay. Nope. So again, no dollars to show for it. Empty wallet today. The comeback was riveting. Lad McConkey also on my fantasy team. Doing his part to try to put me into the fantasy championships. So overall, good game. I think, the better team won. This was the team that I was expecting to win, But I thought it was going to be 2017. I wasn't expecting this shootout that we ended up seeing. Another good Thursday night football game, Nigel.
I'm telling you, man. If this keeps up, if this trend keeps up and it happens again next season, I'm on board for Thursday nighters because Thursday nighters were sleepers for me. I often would pull guys on my fantasy teams that were playing on Thursdays because they were so bad on Thursday nights. But this year was completely different. Gene.
Yeah, I think this game might even have been flexed. I don't think this was in the beginning of the season. This was the game for Thursday night. But yeah, Thursday nights have been like really some just excellent football. But last night we did see a team that I think with the Broncos, we didn't expect. I don't think any of us expected it to be close to getting double-digit wins, right?
No.
Hell no.
Right. So we all know they got some nice players over there, but at the end of the day, yeah, they have Cortland Sutton, but other than that, who you throwing the ball to with a rookie quarterback, with a so-so offensive line, with a defense that has some nice players, but may still not be altogether there. And they've really turned that team around this year to where they're playing important games in December, mid-December, mind you. But this, I think we really expected this is where the Chargers really should be. And for whatever reason, the Chargers always seem to underwhelm. Last night was a big win for them to save their season. Like if they lost last night, I think you could kind of put, even though I think they mathematically would obviously still be alive, you pretty much just say, okay, listen, it's just not going to happen. I came away from that game wondering which one of these teams makes the playoffs because I with a rookie quarterback like Nix, who I wanted in the beginning of the season. That's the guy who I would have took if the Jets were going to draft one. I'm really excited about what they got going on this season. But yeah, fantastic game.
Yeah, it's wild to see that, Denver has turned things around so drastically and so dramatically. And once again, shout out to our boy Caleeb, who couldn't make it today. But he always says it's when your team believes, it's when the players buy in and they believe. And it takes more than just the game plan. It takes the buy-in, and it takes the heart and the fight. And the Broncos, they brought it, man. And I mean, the Chargers, like you said, Gene, it's kind of shocking that they're in this predicament, and it seems like they're kind of in this spot every season for the last 5 or 6 years. Go ahead.
I was just saying is I'm actually, even though the Broncos lost, I look at this as like a plus game because I don't think I didn't expect them to win going into this game, but I didn't even expect them to really make it close and play as well as they did. I expect kind of like what Wudi said. I expected a grind them out, kind of 13-10 game, maybe 13-6 and a loss. Instead, they put up, and it's a shame because they were really whooping on them early in the game. I really thought it's going to be a walk off or a walk away, and they but the Chargers came back. But I'm really proud of what the Broncos are doing. Not really a Bronco fan, but they're making me a little bit more of a fan. Not so much what they're doing, it's maybe more of what my team's doing. But I am becoming I love what they're doing over there. I didn't believe in the head coach after some stuff early on, but he's really turning the team around.
Yeah, and also I just want to point out that both quarterbacks were just on fire. For sure, the defenses they were doing their best. But I mean, Bo Nix is no joke either, right? With 263, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's 29 for 40. I mean, those are great. Those are great numbers. The running game on both sides of the ball barely even broke 70 yards, top end. It was wild. The Denver didn't even break 50 in terms of an individual player running past 50 yards.
Estimate had 48 or something like that.
Yeah, he had 48, and it's Nix himself had 25, and Javonte Williams had 24. So it was wild to see that nobody actually broke the 100-yard threshold or even went to 50 or 60 or 70 yards. But yeah, so another fantastic Thursday night football game in the can. You know what? Let's talk about this since we're just staying on these two teams quickly. Which would you rather? Would you rather Jim Harbaugh or Sean Payton as your head coach, Gene?
Oh, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, done, eh?
Listen, Sean Payton, it was and still is an offensive genius. I get it. But I feel like, and this is what I thought coming into the season. I thought maybe the game has passed him by a little bit. And they're playing well this year, really well. Better than expected. I still love there's something about Harbaugh, his energy, his passion. He's a little bit of he's one of those guys that if he's on a rival team of yours, he's a jerk.
Mhm.
But I love that. He's kind of reminds me of like an offensive Rex Ryan, to an extent. So I love the guy. I think he's fantastic. I can't wait to see what he does with this team going forward. I think obviously he's just there the first year. It's not completely his team yet. Wait till he starts making some more of those changes. They found a gem in Lad McConkey, who was like, who would have been Bill Belichick's favorite guy. He always loved the little white receivers, right?
Always.
So, but like they I gotta go with my man in LA.
Wudi, we talking Peyton or we talking Harbaugh? Who are you picking? Who would you rather?
Give me Jim Harbaugh. I think what Gene said, the energy, is infectious. It's always seen him. He's running routes, catching passes, throwing balls. At practice, they always have footage like that. The speeches, his knowledge, all three phases of the game. I think Jim Harbaugh is, one of the great coaches of the NFL. We've seen what he did. He's made it to a Super Bowl. He lost to his brother, in the Super Bowl. What he just did in college, in Michigan. So he is definitely a football savant. I think, the Chargers landing him, I think they are not going anywhere for a long period of time. If you want to talk about, like the Chargers are in a certain spot every year, Brandon Staley was ass with an incredible roster. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, their secondary was on fire. Their pass rush was in their prime. All right, now, Khalil Mack, he looking like I don't even want to say nothing, because I know, he can still whip my ass, but I'm saying, on the football field, he looking like Big Mac. That's all I'm saying. So, now you have the right coach, but the roster's been depleted. Herbert, to Gene's point, he's throwing to Lad McConkey, though that's great that, he has emerged. But, bro, they might have a bottom 5 receiving core in the NFL.
Mm. Yeah, when they traded away some of those guys in the offseason, you were kind of like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing?
Like they need
exactly. Like they probably looking at the Chiefs like, oh, Patrick's not throwing to anybody. Like we good. But they don't have the things that the Chiefs have. But what they do have that the Chiefs have is a great coach, and I think Harbaugh. He's going to turn that team around when they exactly what Gene said. When they get the team that Harbaugh wants, like he's picking his players 2-3 years, man, the rest of the league better watch out.
Yep, exactly. Hey, Johnny Boy, can I say one thing to Johnny Boy?
Yeah.
Enjoy your $800 million DH.
Okay, hold on.
Because Johnny Boy, he is trash anywhere else but in the batter's box.
Well, what I was going to do is segue into what's up, Johnson? What's up, Johnny Boy? And give you a warm welcome into the foray. But obviously, Gene beat me to it. I don't know if it was warm, but it was something. All right. So that's that for the AFC West, a divisional game that proved to be something special. And so who knows now which team is going to punch their ticket to the playoffs. Things are getting wild and a little crazy. Speaking of, you know what time it is? It's time for Nigel's Cap Corner. I think we're gonna come up with a little sting, I think, and then we just press a button and we have the thing. All right. So here's the deal. So I thought, well, the festive time is upon us. Let me see if I can whip something together. A little, red, green, and gold. And shockingly, I have about 5 or 6 hats that fit the bill, but this one has not been worn. Shout out to the Expos de Montreal. So Montreal Expos. So you have the red there. Obviously, you have the white piping, but that gold, you can barely see it in the Fleur de Lis right there. Some gold stitch. This is definitely one of my favorite hats. I say that every week, so you knew it was coming. boom, and you got that nice little side patch right there. It's a little hot because of the lamp. But please believe me, you got that nice little Canadian flag in there too, huh? Shout out to Canada. And you got the flat Batterman, which is my favorite Batterman on the back of a fullback hat. You got the gray UV, and you also have the black guts inside. So this is it. This is one of my phase. When I went to Montreal to shoot Ghost recently, I took this hat and I took a whole bunch of pictures in front of where the Montreal Canadiens play. And man, it was cool just to be in front of that arena because the Bell Center now. But yeah, it was nice to be out there. So anyways, there's another edition of Nigel's Cap Corner. Great. Let's keep it moving. Thank you once again for stopping by the pop-off. This one is going to be fast and furious. We got a lot of stuff to get through and not a lot of time. We just recapped Thursday night's NFL banger of a game, which was fantastic. Now let's jump to some general NFL stuff. Guys, the season is winding down, so who has been the better leader? Who is the front runner for Coach of the Year? Let's go to Eugene.
It would have been Robert Saleh, but
wow.
You know what? There's a lot of guys that I love that have done just tremendous jobs. I mean, look what.
Do you want me to go while you think about it?
No, I know. I have a guy. I was just. I love what they've done in Detroit. Obviously, Andy Reid's always is a perennial guy. I got to go Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. Did anybody expect it to be 12-2 at this point? I mean, other than me, with who should have been the MVP leading candidate, Sam Darnold. No, I did have them going to the Super Bowl this year, so I do want to say that. So I'm not surprised, but I love what Kevin O'Connell has done. And I got it. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell's my guy, man. This, 12-2. Did anybody expect them to be 12-2 at this point? Is really my question. And battling for that division against the Chiefs. Against the Lions, who are everyone's darling. So I got Kevin O'Connell.
I don't think you're wrong at all, man. I don't think you're wrong at all. I think a lot of the analysts and a lot of people were just like, well, yeah, for sure, Darnold, he's better than serviceable. For sure, but their situation is a little tough over there, and he just came out guns blazing, and he hasn't cooled down that much for that long throughout the whole season, which is mind-boggling, and good for him. MVP status? Don't think so. All right, Wudi, what do you think? Coach of the Year, frontrunner.
Are the questions obvious, or I don't know what it is, but agreeing with Gene in back-to-back questions. Something about that doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right with me either. I changed my answer. Mike Tomlin.
It's Kevin O'Connell. I was really, while Gene was talking, I was trying to think, who's second. Tomlin. Oh, maybe Tomlin. Sean McDermott is who I really like. I was like, all right, I think, because after losing Diggs and the Bills were looking to be, kind of falling down. Like, we were split on the pop-off predicting the AFC East. Gene and I said the Jets, and Nigel and Caleeb, you guys said the Dolphins. Nobody said the Bills. And now you fast forward, and not only are the Bills, leading that division by far, but, I mean, they beat up. They're the only team to beat the Lions and the only team to beat the Chiefs. Or one of two teams to beat the Lions, right? And then the only team to beat the Chiefs. Josh Allen, since getting engaged, I mean, bro, I don't even know what kind of ring he put on her finger, because it looked like he got the infinity stones or something. He's been unbelievable since getting engaged. Sean McDermott definitely deserves some love, but you cannot compare that to a team that was predicted to be the bottom of the barrel of their division. People were loving the Lions. The Packers made the playoffs last year. Caleb Williams had the best supporting cast of any rookie we've seen this century, probably. And, the Vikings, they lost J.J. McCarthy. Oh, their season is done, right? Not respecting Sam I am Darnold, all right? And Gene knew I knew as well. I had them in the wild card. All right, but Gene, he was a little bit more confident than me. I think he had them winning the division. I'm not sure.
I have
Maybe
winning
he
the
had
Super
them
Bowl.
winning the Super Bowl as a wild card. Was it wild card or division?
I have them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, did they win the division? Were they division winner? Yeah, I think you had them having a wild card run, which I had them having a wild card run. But losing to the Niners, I had too much faith in the man Kyle Shanahan. But Sam Darnold, what he's been doing, Brian Flores, that's a big deal. The defense, right, and what they've been able to do, they've made some stops. But when push comes to shove, and you need that 2-minute drill to march down the field, when the Saints go marching in, Sam Darnold be leading those Minnesota Vikings time and time again. As long as they don't grab his face mask off his face, he is money every single time. Give me Kevin O'Connell, a QB himself, who was not appreciated. So he has a soft spot for these underappreciated QBs. What he's done to uplift our boy Sam Darnold to the pedestal that he's on now.
30 seconds.
I mean, he deserves to he deserves all the trophies, all the respect.
Listen, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. It is definitely a clean sweep. I agree. I think I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. If not, I'm gonna say my boy Tomlin, just because of the situation, given the little bit of the drama, what he's had to deal with, and just coming out of like a phoenix, coming out of the fire. I'm leading the division, but yeah, it's without a doubt, it's got to be O'Connell. I think there's not much discussion around that, but there's a lot of coaches that are deserved, though. There's a lot of coaches that are deserved. So let me finish the story. Sam Darnold, that's right, Johnny boy. And hey, if you are with us on the pop off, whether you're on YouTube or any of the other socials, jump over to YouTube if you want to jump into the conversation, add and give your 2 cents, 5 cents, whatever much money you got, and let's talk about it, because we always love to gab on this show, and we always love to just make those impromptu decisions happen. So we've done with Coach of the Year. It's unanimous against the three of us. That was for sure O'Connell of the Minnesota Vikings. Coaches have to make a lot of calls. So does the front office. QBs have been injured. They've been replaced. They've come back again. But now, with the controversy, Michael Penix Jr. has been named the starter of the Atlanta Falcons. Nobody saw that coming. We had chatted about this. What do you think his debut?
Nobody saw it coming. Bro, I told them that they literally listened to me.
I was gonna segue to you, doggy. I was gonna segue to you.
After Wudi saw it.
Yeah, nobody saw it coming except the soothsayer himself, Mr. James Wudi. Michael Penix Jr. is named the starter of the Atlanta Falcons going forward in the next 3 weeks. How do you think he's gonna look in his debut, Mr. Wudi?
I think he's gonna look fantastic. I think people are gonna be surprised again. That like, this rookie is going to start his first game. No, I mean, rookies, like this is how you develop rookies. You have them sit behind talented quarterbacks, right? Have them look at the process, look at everything, how they attack the game, how they attack practice, how they attack different looks. I mean, he has had the benefit of not having that pressure on him that Caleb Williams has had, that Jaden Daniels has had, that Bo Nix has had, where, they all those guys I just named have had stinkers. Yeah, they've had good games, but they've had stinkers as well. Michael Penix has had the benefit of watching, and I'm not saying Kirk is going to the Hall of Fame because he's obviously not close to that, but he has been a starter for the last 10 years. Right? In terms of the huge pool of everyone who's played quarterback in the NFL this century, Kirk is like 90th percentile, right? Not too many can say that, hey, they've been paid as much as Kirk. I don't know if anybody can say that. But to start with the longevity, I mean, Kirk Cousins is a fantastic QB to have in that locker room, and have him do all those little things. He's a great guy, all right? And he's seen the highs. He's seen Kirk throw 500 yards this game with this team that he's about to play on. Now he's also seen Kirk go 4 straight games without a single touchdown and 8 interceptions. He's seen the highs and lows. So I think what Penix is going to bring, and I hate to be one of those guys because I've seen it on social media, but, I think he about to bring some big Penix energy. You know what I'm saying? He about to be out there talking about, yo, let's go. This is my debut, right? He has weapons. He has Drake London. He has Bijan Robinson. He has Darnell Mooney. Kyle Pitts. Are you awake? Here it is. It's time to go because they can still make the playoffs. And that's why they made the change, right? If they were out, just let Kirk do whatever, he wants. We paid him $1 bajillion. But no, this is for a playoff berth. If they think that Penix gives them a better chance to win, then let's go. I think you're going to see somebody who's accurate, somebody who's composed, and that might be all you need. Because with these playmakers, you just get the ball in these guys' hands in open space, and Bijan can run that to the house. Drake can run that to the house. When he on the bench, AJ Terrell can get a pick 6 and run it to the house. Like, this is a really good team to start for in this situation. That and all those things that I just said were things that I was saying last week on why they should be confident in Penix starting. So I think now that they've listened to me and made that choice, bro, you guys are going to be surprised. You guys are really going to be surprised.
I feel like we see a lot of things before it happens, and then we tell the universe. We tell the universe this is probably the move, and it happens. This is the second time in as many weeks that we've called a thing out, or maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and we've called the thing out, and it's been out there. So I'm just saying, if you're not on, if you're not on the pop off, you should be honest because we know what's going on. And let me remind you that Michael Penix, it's not like he's new to the game. And when I say that, I mean to a high pressure, high stakes situation. Let's not forget that this guy was just in a national championship and led the Washington Huskies to a 13-0 regular season. And then they went to a championship. Yes. Did they get dusted and routed by Michigan? Sure. 34-13 loss, but where's Michigan this year? What's up with that? But also, this guy knows high pressure. He knows what's up. So, Gene, let me ask you this. Do you think he's ready? Do you think he'll be fine? Or do you think it's panic mode? What do you think? How do you feel about Michael Penix Jr. coming in? Oh, boy. Okay.
I like Michael Penix Jr.
Oh, good start.
I would have just – we have 3 games left. I would have redshirted him all year. The whole situation flabbergasts me.
Oh,
word, because it's a real shit. But the whole situation flabbergasts me. You're paying your starting quarterback $180 million over 4 years. He's going to count, I think, like $60 million against your dead cap if you try to get rid of him next year. And then you draft a quarterback early. I would just redshirt him all year. Do what they did with Pat Mahomes. And I'd let him sit all year, learn the good things, the bad things, what to do, what not to do, learn how to be a professional, learn how. I wouldn't in yet. I would have just waited season. Because I don't even think it matters this year. I would have let them. I would have. You getting a head start with 3 games head start.
They're in the playoff. They're in the playoff contention though.
Did he freeze?
We might have lost Gene.
We might have lost him. Who
knows? That's a terrible face to get lost on.
That sucks. But you know what? And conversely, now we can't. I'm not going to say this in I'm not going to give you a lot of pushback because Gene can't defend what he was going to say. But I mean, conversely, I think the 3 games are, yeah, man. We lost you for a bit. We lost you, bro. You're back. Now we can't even hear you. You're muted.
Yeah.
Now you're muted. Now.
It's played by play.
Yeah. Now you're muted. What I was going to say is that maybe this is good to have the 3 games. To have the 3 games just to get under his belt, just so it's like, listen, and to your point, if they're in playoff contention, maybe this is the kind of pressure he needs. Maybe he needs to be on that hot seat to play really well to keep them in that race. Gene, do we need to buy you glasses, bro? Do we need to start a GoFundMe for? We need but also you're still muted, so just unmute and
if you need
Oh,
No,
weird.
you've muted yourself. I actually tried to unmute you, and it won't let me because you muted yourself.
Yeah.
So if you unmute, it seems like you're good to go based on the movement I'm looking at.
Well, in case you didn't know, we're having all the shenanigans here on the pop off. On the pop off, it's another Friday, and we'd be remiss if something like this wouldn't happen.
What we are witnessing right now is a living, breathing metaphor of Kirk Cousins trying to march down the field. That's what we're trying. This dude is out here. Maybe you should come back in.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So I think that maybe the 3 games might do him well. It might do the team well, just to kind of give them a different energy. But we're gonna see, because this is gonna be quite intense. He's walking into the Lions Den. He's walking to the gladiator arena. He's walking in. So we'll see if he can fight or flight in the next 3 games.
They need it. I mean, if they win out, because they hold the tiebreaker over the Bucks. If they win out, they're in the playoffs. I think that's what before Gene froze. That's what I was about to push back on is that's why they're not. It has nothing to do with the development of Penix. It's
right.
Can we compete for a Super Bowl this year?
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're 7-7, so I mean, it's not like they're far off from getting in wild card or whatever the chances are. So they could make it, to your point. Okay. You know what? Let's keep this thing moving. So when Gene comes back, we will either stay on. We'll go back to the topic if you want to make another point, or we'll just keep it moving. And the question is, Kirk Cousins now. What happens to him? Will he play next year? Yes. There's a lot of money on the table, but we're also talking about his energy. We're also talking about his efficiency. It's not great anymore. So, is he going to play next year, Wudi?
Yeah, I think he's definitely playing. I don't think this is the end. I think you kind of see with Aaron Rodgers, the Achilles injury. You've seen it pretty much everybody. Aaron Rodgers, KD, the Klay Thompson. Right, the initial return from the Achilles is, you planting, but it's not the same level of gardening as before. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
But eventually, you start, regaining that confidence, and it becomes more. I think what the big thing is the consciousness. I feel like that first season or half season after coming back, you're conscious of every single time you step. But once you can go back to planting unconsciously, you're good to go. And we have not seen that from Kirk Cousins. We have seen that from Aaron Rodgers. And that's why for the Jets community out there, that's like, suddenly, Aaron Rodgers doesn't suck or whatever, what they're thinking. Aaron has looked pretty much the same all year. It's just the mobility factor has improved. And he showed us flashes and then got killed. So with Kirk Cousins, I think he will be much better next year. Much better. And that's where I would say for the Falcons, it's like kind of tough because now, you this contract is huge. You have a huge contract. You have this guy whose contract is nothing, right? Michael Penix. And they're both starting caliber. They're, you really leave yourself. And Kirk has a no trade clause, so I feel like they had no foresight when making these decisions. Like, I'm not mad having Penix sit behind Kirk Cousins. I just hyped up that was actually a brilliant move. I'm not sure what's happening with Gene's camera, but we definitely need to lean back. Fat Joe said it best. Lean back. But I would say. For Kirk, with the no trade clause, that really he could just hold them hostage and be like, pay me. But he's definitely a starting caliber quarterback in 2025, in my opinion.
I feel like this is the definition. The Atlanta Falcons situation is the definition of putting all your egg in one basket. Like they just went all in, and it's just, and you're susceptible to it backfiring. Obviously, It just seemed like such a drastic move. Obviously, I was happy for the dude, but coming off the injury, and then he He's just kind of faltered. Yeah, I don't think he's done either. I definitely think he's still going to play in the NFL. His role is just going to change. It's about that time. That's all there is to it. Gene, if you are back, my man, we're talking about Cousins. Yep, we're talking about Cousins. Is he going to play again?
My computer froze. Like I said, it's going to hit them so hard against the cap. Like, do you trade him? I mean, he can. I think he can still play. Where's he going to go? That's my question. And if you Atlanta, do you want to trade him? It's going to hit you against the cap. Like, I don't even get what they did. Like, I don't even understand the whole thing. What's going on in Atlanta? Who's the Atlanta's GM?
That's a great question. Don't know.
I don't know, but I know he has more employment than Joe Douglas right now. That's what I know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You sign a quarterback to $180 million, then you draft a guy that you plan starting with in 5 years, I'm sure. If in your first pick, I don't know. I just but I do think he'll play somewhere else. I just don't. I don't know where. But I think the whole thing's a mess.
There's a whole lot of quarterback need. I mean, every year there's a team that feels like they're a quarterback
like 10
away.
Teams that might need. So I mean, we were this year. So
I mean, we are again next year. The Jets.
Apparently.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a whole bunch. That's one team that comes to mind. I think the Titans have a really good roster. If they had a QB that wasn't obsessed with Mayo, if I thought for like 6 minutes, I can rattle off some teams. But right now, the Jets and the Titans are the two big ones. Vegas, but I think Vegas needs like a complete overhaul. I don't know why they keep thinking that they're a QB away. But there are definitely some teams out there.
The GM for Atlanta Falcons is Terry Fontenot or Fontenot.
Oh yes.
That's it.
So he was previously with the New Orleans Saints and also went to school out there. He went to Tulane, played some football in Tulane. So go Green Wave. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep moving. Let's keep it shaking. But we're not going to leave the NFL. We're not going to go very far. However, for all those Madden players, hey, it seems like you're a little closer to being an NFL GM or an NFL head coach for that matter, or anybody professionally in the NFL than you thought. You are very, very close to it because now it seems like the discrepancy isn't too far off. New York Jets owner, your New York Jets owner, Wudi Johnson, apparently he might be a gamer because he took some of the Madden stats on Jerry Jeudy and said, we're not going to take Jeudy because his attributes were too low. This is absolutely fantastic, and I'm so glad that it made it to news outlets. You know what? Let's go, Wudi, let's go with you on this. Wudi Johnson nixed a trade from Jerry Jeudy last offseason because he felt his Madden rating was too low. What are we doing? What is happening? I think this is hilarious. What do you think?
I know Gene definitely has some things to say. This, to pull the, break the fourth wall. This was a request of his to have this topic on the show.
Nice.
That I definitely was going to oblige. I have not addressed this personally. Like on my personal Instagram, people DM me like, yo, Woody sucks. Here's the thing. Nothing from the article changes my opinion on anything. Literally anything. That article hasn't changed anything. Did I think Woody was a good GM when I woke up yesterday? No. Did I think he was a good owner? Sorry. A good owner after reading that? No, it didn't move the needle, right? I think he is one of the worst owners in sports. Still think that. Diana Rossini, I don't know who in the organization. My guess is Aaron Rodgers, but if it was somebody else that maybe she wanted some and they turned her down, but she has a personal vendetta against the New York Jets, and it actually disgusts me how quick these major outlets are to run with her pieces, although a few of them have already proven to be untrue. The people that she's talking about are like, hey, I've never, dealt with her or anybody in her camp in my life. I have no idea where this nonsense is coming from. I tune her out. And unfortunately, every other news outlet does not do the same. So do I even believe this to be true? No.
Mhm.
But if I did, would it change how I felt about Woody Johnson? No, because he sucks. So, I think it is kind of much ado about nothing, but I understand, the average fan is trained to, ESPN is a source for news, Bleacher Report is a source for news. So you look at the report and you respond to it. But I think we would all live longer, healthier lives if we were able to weed out and say, well, where is this rumor? Where is this nugget, this McNugget coming from? Oh, Diana Rossini's lying ass? All right, I don't have to worry about it.
Gene, this is your request. I'll ask you second.
So I agree with Wudi in the sense of, did I like him before the article? No. Did I like him after the article? No. But here's the thing. Do I like him less? Do I hate him more? Yes. I hate him more. I think he's a clown. I don't even think, did he just respond to it and say that's not true yet? I haven't seen it if he responded.
No, I haven't seen anything like that.
I mean, that's the first thing you do, no? If this comes out, wouldn't you think he'd put out a press release saying that's absolutely ridiculous? I would never do that. It's ludicrous. But he hasn't done that. And then there's a bunch of things came out. Him saying about Mike White, you fucking suck. In the locker room, like, what are you doing? The guy cracked his ribs the week before, and he's putting it all on the line playing for you. The fact that his son is in on GM meetings, and Douglas kind of confirmed that because he even said at one point that he's dealing with teenagers making decisions.
He didn't say that publicly though. That was also said in the same report where she's claiming all these things.
He didn't comment and say that didn't happen either though. He didn't comment and say that. Oh, that I never said that. Like,
yeah, but he's unemployed. We're gonna run him down at Whole Foods and be like, "Yo, Joe Douglas, did we say this?"
I'm sure he has an agent. I'm sure he could leave a press release somehow about saying, "I never said that. That's not true. That I never dealt with his teenage sons. He never did that either." So I thought long and hard about this the last day or two, and I think I'm out.
Of being a Jets fan?
For now, I think I'm out.
No, wait, of being a Jets fan?
For now.
Get the hell out of here, man.
No, I'm taking resumes for other teams, and I think I might jump to a new team.
What am I supposed to do with the snapback hat that I bought you for Christmas?
I've dealt with 15 years of from the Jets. I dealt with 20-something years of that with the Knicks, and I stayed on point. And that Knicks owner was horrendous, but he got it. Eventually, he got it right.
So why don't you give the Jets the same 20 years that you give the Knicks?
Yeah,
I just can't.
You can.
I need to see that they need to win me back this offseason. But I am going to be taking resumes for a new team, I think, because I see some of these teams that, we always say, oh, these teams can never get it right. Like the Lions. I went my whole life without seeing the Lions ever being really good. They had a couple of years when Barry was there. But look at them now. It really depends on what they do this offseason. And if they don't do the right thing, I think I'm out. And I think I'm out for good.
All right, well, good. Gene quits magic. We don't need you anyway. We don't need you. I don't even, bro. Don't come back. Don't come back.
Wait, if he comes out with like a John Idzik type hire at GM.
No. We don't need you. We don't need you. Go.
I'm asking you, if he comes up with like a John Idzik type hire, are you gonna be okay with that? What if he makes Brick Johnson a GM? What about that?
Now you're just speaking hypothetically. You don't even know what you're talking about.
If he made Brick Johnson,
obviously he's not going to make Brick Johnson the GM.
I'm asking you a hypothetical question. If he did,
if he made Brick Johnson the GM, that's fine. I'm still a Jet fan. I bleed green. I cannot change my blood type.
I don't. It's like Brokeback Mountain. I wish I knew how to quit.
What the? Wait, what? What?
It's like Brokeback Mountain. I wish I knew how to quit them. They break my heart every year, and then every few years, don't they not only just break my heart, they embarrass me.
I mean, the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks were worse. I feel like the Knicks gave me more pain, more heartache.
I think it's because I loved the Jets just a little bit more. I think it's because I love them just a little bit more than the Knicks that it made it
You're
worse.
gonna leave them. You're gonna disrespect them. You're gonna leave them at the altar. Gene.
I'm not at the altar. I'm in a 15. I'm in a 15. I'm in like a 40-year marriage where I've got nothing but cheated on, slapped around. I flinch whenever the Jets walk by.
Yeah, Gene on the hop off with Gene quits magic.
Listen, shout out to Johnny Boy because I think we don't have merch yet, but when we do, the hop off is definitely going to be the Bizarro version. It's like Bizarro Superman and Bizarro Batman. That's what the hop off is to the pop off. I can't believe I'm hearing these words.
I'm not
just like
calling,
you, Wudi.
I'm not calling my lawyer yet. I'm not calling my divorce lawyer yet.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this
for a divorce lawyer. I'm considering it.
I'm going to say this about that. How do you think? I shouldn't even be going into this. How do you think us Raptors fans have felt? You know how many years it's a 30-year anniversary now. We only won their championship 4 years ago, bro. We only just won it 4 years ago, man, for the first time. We came close when we won it. Also, we don't even have an NFL team up here in Canada. We don't even have one. So we just have to arbitrarily just pick something. And guess what? Sometimes you pick a team that's just not great. I'm not speaking for the Steelers. I'm not speaking for the Bills either. But there's a ton of Bills fans in our great nation because that's the closest one, especially to our city, the great city of Toronto. Bro, you can't hop off the Jets just that quick. But you know what? You do you. We'll see what the fans think. Hey, you were listening to the Pop Off, now called the Hop Off, with Genefitzmagic and Gene Quits Magic. Oh, that's another one. The Hop Off with Gene Quits Magic. Hey, we got to write that down. Okay, let's keep it moving. We don't have much time left. We don't even have that many topics left. We should talk about the schedule for our picks for the week, seeing as there's a little bit of doom and glum here. Let's just ramp it right back up. I will go first. There's only one game I want to talk about because I'm sure you guys have more games you want to talk about. But obviously, I'm talking about that Saturday afternoon game, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're talking about Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. Again, another huge marquee matchup. This is going to set the stage for the Christmas Day game. If you don't know, now you know, when Pittsburgh is going off against the Kansas City Chiefs. So this for sure is my game. It's on Saturday. There's two games on Saturday, and this is going to be one of those ones for the ages. Gene got so upset that he left. Wudi, what do you got for your picks this week?
I actually am just realizing right now that they did that. So like the two Saturday games tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then playing Christmas. Like just the Ravens and the Texans and the Chiefs and the Steelers.
Yeah,
all four of those teams. That's very interesting. I don't think I've seen that like a back-to-back week like that.
Yeah.
So the schedulers, kudos to them. I guess they was in their bag, setting that up. If I'm gonna highlight, I'm gonna highlight two games here.
Sure.
One is the Eagles and the Commanders. I think the Eagles pretty much have wrapped up the division. Like they would have to lose out and the Commanders would have to win out for the Eagles to lose the division. So I don't think that's going to happen, especially with the winning streak that they're on. But the Commanders, they were the talk of the town for the first 6-7 weeks, and we haven't said a thing about them recently. So this is just I want to see how they finish out this season and this divisional matchup. I would say this is actually their best bet to have us talking about them again, is to upset their division opponent, the Eagles, who have been on fire. So let's see what they got going. Dan Quinn is a coach I respect very much. Cliff Kingsbury is a coach I respect very much. What do they have to show to kind of, shock the Eagles? And good thing Caleb's not here. I'm not saying I'm rooting for nobody, but, we'll see what the commies can do, because I kind of presented it from their perspective. The next two teams, these are two teams I think of all the matchups that occur on Sunday. Mm-hmm. This game has the most riding on it, and I'm talking about the Seahawks and the Vikings. Both of those teams are tied for number one in their division.
Yeah,
both of those are perceived as the lesser of the team of the tie. right? People say the Lions, the Lions, so they don't put the Vikings on the same pedestal, even though they're tied. And then the Seahawks are like, Gino, so they don't put them on the same pedestal as the Rams. So for these two little brothers facing each other, this is a real good chance to kind of, see that dominance, see that supremacy, who is going to come out on top. But we already know Sam Darnold, baby.
Baby. You got it, Gene. We're talking about our picks, my dude. You hopped off on the pop off, so let's talk about a couple picks that you have for this weekend.
You know what? The Vikings might be a good team to start following. I'm gonna think about that.
You kind of set the stage.
I'm gonna think about that because they got my guy over there. Right? They got my guy. All right, so I want to see that. I'm looking forward to that Chiefs Texans matchup. I think that the Texans gotta get right in time for the playoffs. But also, what about what could have been bowl with San Francisco and Miami? That could have, in the beginning of the season, that could have looked like one of those Super Bowl matchups, in the regular season.
Definitely.
I do want to see that because I think they're both way better than 6-8. I believe that's their record. I think they're both 6-8. I think they're both better than 6-8. They just had some rough injury patches throughout the season, so I'm excited to see that game. And you know what? Listen, it's not going to be a great game, but I do want to see Penix play up against the Giants. I think the Atlanta Giants game is going to be a fun game to watch because I do want to see what Penix does. But yeah, I think the San Francisco Miami game is going to be a fun game this week, even though it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, Gene, you can't quit the Jets. Should do one thing. Should do one thing really good, and and suck you right back in. It's true. That's true. Should do it. Let's do it. I think you're right with the Atlanta game. I think true NFL fans or fans of the game are going to watch to see how Penix performs, regardless of who who they be playing. Because that shouldn't be a great game. I think the Falcons are much better than the Giants overall, but who knows who's going to show up? It's indoors too, so it's in Atlanta. It's his first game. Everything is kind of set for success there, believe it or not. So we'll see if that happens. And I also want to say it's wild to think of, again, Gene, you hit another one out of the park when you're talking about San Fran versus Miami. This is crazy because those two teams, if you look at their divisions, to your point, both 6-8, but you look at those two teams, San Francisco is 6-8, and they're in the bottom of the barrel in their division with the Rams leading at 8-6, Seattle 8-6, and then Arizona 7-7. And then you look at Miami, the Bills are 11-3 at the top of their AFC East. Then it's a steep plummet from there. Then the Dolphins are 6-8. The Jets are 4-10, and the New England Patriots are 3-11. That's a wild, that's just a walk-off for the Bills. But in another universe, this game, San Fran and Miami would have been something that we all would have tuned in to watch. All right. We're heading out of this thing real quick. We got a couple more topics to talk about. You've been listening to The Pop-Off or watching The Pop-Off. Join us in the chats. Join us. Please like, subscribe, reshare, share, re-up, do whatever you got to do. Just don't quit on us, all right? Don't hop off. Stay with The Pop-Off. Shout out to Johnny Boy for that. Love that idea. I want to say this about that. Who will win the second NBA Cup, brought to you by Emirates? The Hawks, the Bucks, the Rocks, the Thunder. Woody and I last week talked about the fact that we thought the Thunder or the Hawks were going to walk away with the second NBA trophy. They did not. It was the Bucks. The Bucks ended up winning it. If you'd seen the socials, Giannis had a great time celebrating. Now he has both trophies in his bag. Good for him. Good for the Bucks. They need the momentum. I think the OKC Thunder, they have their sights set on a bigger deal, a bigger trophy. They want the Larry O.B., as does anybody. It's good for Rockets morale. Great for the Thunder's momentum. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I don't call it the Emirates NBA Cup. You know what I call it?
What?
Who cares Cup? Who cares?
It's a good setup.
You play an extra game where you could actually risk losing one of your players to an injury that doesn't even count for your standings.
Well, you get money to pay for the injury after.
I'm just saying. Listen, I like it for the fact that it's a chance for these kids that aren't making a lot of money, these two-way players, that the guys at the end of the bench that don't really get the chance to make money, they get a nice little chunk of change right there. For that reason, I like it for them. But I think I've said it over and over again. I hate the tournament. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's coming up with something just to come up with something. I think Nosferatu has always come up with these things in midseason, like changing the All-Star game. I mean, it's ridiculous to me. And this is just another thing. It just doesn't make any sense. I know this. The same reason why I don't want any of my Knicks players playing in the Olympics is the same reason I don't want them playing in the championship for this cup, because I don't want them playing an extra game where it doesn't matter towards the rest of the season.
Right.
For them to get injured for the rest of the season. I don't need the anxiety for that. So I hate the cup, the in-season tournament. At the end of the day, do we even care? And I'm so surprised to see the players celebrate it like it's a real thing. Like it's not. It's like what do you say in the Wolf of Wall Street? It's fairy dust. It's pixie dust. It's a what is it? What does it say? It's a what is it? What was it? It's ridiculous, and I don't need. I don't want my team in the tournament or in the finals. I don't even want the Knicks there.
All right, Wudi.
It's a who's it? It's a was it? He says. So who's it?
We talked about the cup. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's another. Adam Silver is ruining the game that I love.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you know what? Let's just let's just insult to injury. Let's talk about the new NBA and the new NBA All-Star format that's happening that we're now going to walk into. It's exactly what the rumors were. The rumors are true from a couple weeks back when we talked about it. When we talked about it on the show, but now they've added a couple other things. They've added the inside the NBA. They added that trio of Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny Smith to be GMs of these teams. We didn't know who those people would be. And you have your 3 teams of NBAers, and then you have your 1 team of rising stars. So what do we think about the NBA All-Star Weekend that's going to be played in San Francisco Bay Area, hosted by the Golden State Warriors, February 14th to 16th. Happy Black History Month. What do we think about the changes to the NBA All-Star game? Let's start with Wudi.
Shout out to Caleb because he says this. He says, you take shit, like feces, and you put syrup on it. Does that make it pancakes? He has said that multiple times.
It's disgusting. The answer is no.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say you take feces, you cut it. Now you're a surgeon. You cut it into 4 pieces. You put sprinkles on it. You put butter, you put whipped cream, and then you put syrup. Is it pancake? Oh, Silver, what is this fool doing to this game? What is he doing? That's all he's doing. He's trying to make it fancy. He's turned the one game. Now he's adding all these different games. He has all these random people. He's going to be a coach. He's going to be GM. He's going to do that. He's going to do this. None of that matters. I've never seen somebody so brain dead that doesn't even know what the fans want. They don't even know what the fans need. Just adding all these stupid, silly little frills. All right? At the end of the day, instead of watching one game, now we have to watch, a whole bunch of people not playing defense, jacking up threes, shooting from half court. I'm not even watching. I did not watch. It's been a little bit of time since I watched the All-Star game. And he knows that because the ratings continue to decline. I mean, the only time that it did not decline was the first All-Star game after Kobe passed, and they got to exploit. They pretty much exploited the name of Kobe Bryant. Oh, this is the Kobe this. Oh, we got to get to 24. We got to do that. Well, who has to die this year for them to stop plummeting the ratings? Who has to? Somebody has to, because
hopefully
all
Woody
this
Johnson
is not saving anybody.
Hopefully Woody Johnson.
Well, I feel like Woody Johnson. I mean, Brick might have better ideas on how to save the NBA than Adam Silver. I think so. because Adam Silver is clueless. He's not bronze. He's not even Adam Aluminum. He needs to Adam get the fuck away from me. All right, I hate him. He is ruining this game.
I'll say this: I am looking forward to watching his biopic that comes out Christmas Day. Nosferatu.
It does look good. It does look good though.
Yeah, he's got the Adam Silver biopic comes out Christmas Day. Make sure you go watch it. It's called Nosferatu. It's about Adam Silver's whole life. There's an original out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we doing, guys? I mean, honestly, I love to come up with as good as analogies as Wudi did, but I can't even. It makes my brain numb. You know what? You want to fix the All-Star game, make it mean something where people want to play defense. And I guess this maybe a little bit, people are going to want to play defense a little bit because there's not a timeline. It's there's not minutes. It's fastest to 40. So maybe you might see a little bit more defense because you're trying to keep people from getting to 40. But you put all the other gimmicks is unneeded, right? So make the game mean something. Maybe it's home court advantage in the finals, how they did with baseball those years. With the home field advantage. I don't want to see it, the winning team make X amount of money because they already billionaires. I mean, most of them are millionaires. They don't need the extra money. I could care less if a guy's if KD is going to get an extra $1 million because they won the All-Star game. I don't care. In fact, that would probably piss me off more. Make it mean something. Make it mean that the team from the winning conference gets home court advantage. That's one thing. There's got to be something else we can do, but that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. Just Christmas Day, go watch Nosferatu.
Or watch the NFL. You can do that too on Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah.
Watch that NFL. All right, you know what? Let's see if we can change the momentum here. And we're going to change the league. Let's jump into MLB. This is our last topic of the day because we all got stuff to do. The holidays are right around the corner. Who is the biggest winner of the MLB offseason so far? There's been a lot of moves already. What do you think? Wudi, let's go to you. Finish with Gene.
This might end up being another clean sweep. I got to say, we might have won the Soto sweepstakes, but the Yankees have made a great pivot. Great pivot off that sweepstakes. They lost. They didn't, cry and lick their wounds. They came out here and made signing after signing. So that money, right, was spent in different ways, right? Getting Devin Williams, right, shoring their pitching, getting Max Fried. Right, Cody Bellinger, I think, was the last of the bunch to add. So now they've gotten pitchers, they've gotten batters. I mean, the Mets. We celebrate. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hyped. Right, I call my grandpa. My grandpa's still smiling ear to ear about Soto. But we still got plenty of work to do. Is Pete Alonso about to be a Met? What's going on there? We need pitchers, right? If we're gonna have any chance against the Dodgers, but I think the Yankees have done a really good job of saying, all right, we didn't get our guy, but we are about to fill every hole we can with this excess money. So give me the boys from the Boogie Down Bronx, the Yankees.
Oh, like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make that hat. Gene.
Yeah, we agreeing a lot today, Woody. It's and listen, I know people will say it's because I'm biased, I'm a Yankee fan, but it really is the Yankees. If you could have told me in the preseason before the offseason started that, okay, if I promised you Devin Williams, Max Fried, Bellinger, plus one or two more guys, or Soto, what package would you prefer? I would prefer that other package. So my thing is this: did we get better? I think we're just a better team so far. But our starting pitching, we're better than we were last year. Relieving, we're better than we were last year. Defensively, we're better than we were last year. On the bases, we're better than we were last year. The only place we're not quite better than yet is in the batter's box. And I think that with one, and we all know that he's got another one or two signings in him left. Most of the moves were trades anyway. Most of these moves weren't signings. And if anybody listened to the the press conference from Max Fried on FAN, Susan Wolman said she's heard from 3 high-ranking Yankee officials that they are not nearly done yet. So there's going to be more moves made. Ben Rice is not going to be your first baseman. I'm sorry, he's not going to be the first baseman of the New York Yankees. So I do think I think maybe it's Christian Walker, maybe it's Carlos Santana. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but it's going to be a quality first baseman over there. And I think I don't want Bregman, but I do think they're going to come up with something for third base. I don't want to see Jazz Chisholm over there. I'd rather see him at second base, and put something at third. But we do have some guys in the minors that can come up and take that spot. So I think at the end of the year, I think we're going to be a better team than we were last year. And listen, Soto's a hell of a hitter, but I mean, when you realize how many blunders he had in that outfield and right field, and it's a mess. So, and Wudi, you and your grandpa enjoy Soto. If you ever make a mistake, just say, if you ever make a mistake in life, just say, hey, you know what? It's okay. I'm okay with errors because I signed Juan Soto and he makes a ton of them.
Wow. What a spicy afternoon it's been. And you know what? It's wild. It feels like the Yankees are, they're not putting their tail between their legs after that hit with Soto, jumping ship and going across the bridge. It feels like they were like, all right, cool. We're doing the thing then.
Can I say one thing? I think there's a part of them that didn't want him to say yes to the Yankees. I think there's a part of the Yankees that were like, we got to save face to our fans by putting an offer out there. Mm-hmm. But I think there was a part of them that didn't want him to say yes.
Okay.
I think there was definitely relief in the Bronx when he picked the Mets.
Mm. Interesting. Hot take. And you know what? We are done with our hot takes today. This has been short and sweet. Man, we put in a solid 66 minutes for y'all. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Pop-Off, but I would be remiss if we didn't go into this segment, Weekend Words. Let's get the last words around the horn. Mr. Wudi, Weekend Words?
I do not know if you will see us next Friday. I hope so, but that's something that needs to be discussed internally. So if not, have a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year. I mean, the song wasn't lying when they say it's the most wonderful time of the year. It is a beautiful time. So hug your loved ones, enjoy the lights, the sights, just everything. And, just cherish life.
There you go. Weekend Words, Gene.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Nigel, you got to come down to the United States one day and celebrate Christmas one year because do you actually have Christmas up there?
Shut the hell up, man.
No,
we have snow, dog. Like, what do you like? Where you're at? You don't even have snow. I mean,
you guys celebrate Thanksgiving in like freaking August. Who knows what's going on up there?
Listen, bro. I've been to LA for Christmas, and it was one of the weirdest existential experiences of my life to have to go.
I'm dealing with it now. It was 84 degrees here yesterday.
What is that, bro? What is that, man? It makes no sense to me. So listen, I'm not trying to jump into the X-Files and celebrate Christmas. So in a hot climate when people think there's going to be snow. None for me. Weekend Words from Johnny Boy. Gene, you can never quit the Jets. Locos forever. And thank you, Johnny Boy. And thank you, everybody, for listening, for watching. We appreciate you. Once again, like Wudi said, we're not sure if we're going to be here next week. And if we are not here next week, have the best and the safest holiday season with you and your loved ones. Tell your friends you love them. Tell your family you love them. Give somebody a hug. Help somebody out over the next week or two. And you know what? Yes, we have Boxing Day in Canada. I will be partaking because there's a lot of hats on sale. And from me to y'all, thank you so much. And we will see you soon. I got a